Welcome to Sparks of Love. Today we have some really important people in my life as our guest. We have my high school basketball coach and English teacher, Dr. Ric Vandett, and my high school homeroom teacher, his wife, Angela Vandett. So welcome to the Vandetts.
Welcome.
So I have to say that I've been planning this for months, and I bought myself a new NC State Wolfpack hat just for this very episode because in front of you we have two diehard Carolina Tar Heels fans, and I am a lifelong NC State Wolfpack fan. So I had to surprise them with my hat.
Big surprise. Thank you.
Well, I see Carolina blue.
Can you see the blanket behind me?
I do see the UNC Tar Heels.
we have a little representation here this morning.
And I think you have Carolina blue shirt on there, don't you, Coach Vandett?
Actually, this is purple. I purposely did not put on my Carolina blue shirt, thinking you'd make some kind of comment about it. So I can go up and change if you want.
No.
I'll stay with it.
It just shows that Wolfpack, we're like really on point. Like we're really on message.
Yeah. Now if y'all could just win some games.
Well, so when I was growing up, I became an NC State Wolfpack fan when Coach Jim Valvano was the coach. And the passion that he had matched the passion that I had about sports. I used to go out into my backyard from age 7 and just shoot basketball over and over all day long. I was absolutely obsessed. My second cousin, Curtis Sparks, was a basketball player, and he basically is responsible for turning me into a jock along with my dad, Larry. Just sports is all they breathed. And I just fell in love with Coach V. Coach Valvano would run up and down the court. He was so excited, and the passion that he had for sports. And then by the time I got to high school, I was captain of the teams. And, Mr. Mitchell was really our principal. He was really involved in helping me, with my sports and educational career. But Coach V, you had a winning team. Like your Lady Vikings, I think your sports career at North Wilkes High School Vikings, it was pretty storied. You had a lot of success in that, right?
I was fortunate to have some good athletes and good assistant coaches, and they helped me learn as I helped teach them, and I thoroughly enjoyed coaching. It was one of the high points of my life.
There's a lot of love stories here, the love of sports being one of them. And I brought my high school yearbook for all of the class of 87 we had to represent today. And I sent Scott, the studio owner, Scott Fitzgerald, I sent him a bunch of photos this morning that, we're going to show on the screen after the episode when it airs. But I did want to show a picture of the two of you back from back when. So let me pull to that one. I have it marked here in the book. I see a hat on Angela. I'm not sure what this hat is, but it is Angela. It says, Mrs. Vandett is pulling another one of her shady deals. That's what it says there, which I thought was really cute. But the two of you, you have, look at that. I love that picture. Oh, my heart.
Spirit Week.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. Where is this from? Is this North Wilkes?
North Wilkes. Spirit Week.
Oh, Spirit. Okay. I have to tell the Spirit Week story. So for Spirit Week at North Wilkes, like many high schools, we had a big stage on the football field before the homecoming game. And so the classes were let out that day or maybe early. And we had a festival out on the football field. And someone got a hold of your house key. I guess Angela must have been involved in this. And they snuck into your closet, Coach V, and they got your signature black polo, your jeans, and my mom had done this horrendous thing to me. She'd put a perm in my hair. And so you had this curly Italian, hair. And I unfortunately had that look. It didn't work for me. And they got your hat and even your belt. I had all your entire outfit on, and we did impersonations. And out of the crowd I came, and I was dressed as you, as Coach Vandett. for Spirit Week. I don't know who did it, but someone got your clothes. Angela, were you a part of that?
Bubbly? Could be. Sounds like something we would do.
Yeah. So how long have the two of you been married?
What time is it? Be 46 years this June.
Oh my goodness, 46 years. I thought it was 40. I'm off by 6 years. Yeah. So there's this song by the Eagles that I love, and I think of the two of you when I hear it, called "Try and Love Again." And the song itself is about maybe you're giving up on love. And I think everybody can kind of relate to that at certain stages of their lives. I certainly have been in stages like that when relationships don't work out. Speak to me about how the two of you found each other, because you did try and love again, and it's now 46 years. So I'd say it's a great success. So tell me a little bit how the two of you found each other.
I was divorced from my first relationship, living in Raleigh and teaching. And we had an opportunity for an English teacher and a math teacher from each school system to go to Appalachian State University for 2 weeks in the summer. And we were to do staff development for reading in the content area. And so I went from my school system and went up to Boone to spend 2 weeks. And, well, you take it.
And I represented Wilkes County at that same symposium. We got there on a Sunday, and I was just getting out of my marriage and kind of despondent, and I needed a date. And I knew somebody in Boone. So I called her. And as I'm talking on the phone, I'm looking, probably no more than 20 feet away from me. And there were 4 people playing bridge. And the one facing me was the woman I'm sitting next to right now.
Oh.
And I think she heard me say to the woman I was talking that I was now separated. And I think it might have caught her ear. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, so I made the date that night, Sunday night.
With
we
Angela?
Went down to the
No, this was with somebody else.
So I was making a date with somebody else that I knew in Boone. And so I set that up for like Wednesday night. And then that night on TV in the day room, the Democratic National Convention was on. And I saw her sitting there, so I sat close to her, but I don't think we even said anything. Next day was full of classes, and then following the classes, I was sitting down with my legs crossed, shorts and tennis shoes, just relaxing while everybody else was heading for lunch. And she walked by and pulled my tennis shoelace and said,
"Your shoe's untied."
And I looked up and I thought, fool, if you don't get up and follow that girl.
Oh.
And so I followed her, and we've been married 46 years.
An opening line, "Your shoes untied." That's pretty unique. And
yeah, it was a new one for me. But the interesting thing is, she was dating somebody.
It worked.
Oh, let's don't.
And well, the interesting story is that each night she'd go give him a call and then come sit with me.
Yeah.
And after we started dating, she actually called me in tears and saying she wanted to break up with him but didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
So I told her what to say.
So I called him, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to say. And he said, "Okay, you say this, 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 and this." I said, "Okay." So I called him back about 3 minutes later, and I was fine. And he said, "What'd you say?" And I said, "This, this, this, and this." And it was done. I just needed some support.
Wow.
Which is what he has always given me.
Yeah, no, you two are like couple life goals for sure. Well, what was it about her? Did you untie his shoe? Did you actually untie it? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I reached down and pulled the shoelace string.
What made you do that?
Said, "Your shoes are..."
What made you do that?
He was cute. We had also been in class by that time, at least one full day. And I had already heard him speak and could tell his intelligence and his wit, and I knew that this was somebody that was interesting, somebody that I wanted to know. Because like in all education meetings, 75% were female.
Oh, okay.
And only about 25% are male when you go to a meeting. So I had to get out there.
Yeah. How old were the two of you approximately during this time when you met?
Okay, 76. I was 31.
27.
So 31 and 27. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I just completed my first year. I didn't start teaching until I was 30. So
Right,
I just completed my first year.
because you had a background in radio, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I just think that's such a unique move to like untie his shoe. Like I never would have thought of something like that. In modern times we mostly have Velcro, so I think shoe manufacturers need to rethink this. Maybe they're, got to change their design for love. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it about Angela, Coach V, that got your eye?
Well, first of all, she was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I, as I said, when I was on the phone talking to another girl trying to make a date, I'm looking at her eye while she's playing cards, and she was just breathtaking. Again, very, very intelligent, and just something about her. And to be honest with you, Jerri, I don't know if I would have made the first move if she had not untied my shoelaces.
Wow.
It's difficult walking up to a woman and say, "Oh, by the way, I just got separated. You want to go out?" You just don't. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But the fact that she showed an interest in me, because not only did she untie my shoe, but she kept walking and looked over her shoulder and said, "Your shoe's untied." And I thought, I got to go after her. And it was a great move. I'm so glad she made that move because it took a little pressure off of me.
Yeah.
And I had to find out if she really liked me. And we did go out on a date. The next day, I had a date on Wednesday with the girl from Boone. But on Thursday, Angela and I went out to this Italian restaurant in Boone. And we were just talking about this the other day because we reenacted this scene sort of inadvertently. But what it was, when we finished the dinner and we got to the car, on her side, I opened the door. And as she's getting in, I grabbed her and kissed her without even thinking of it. It was, and we did that the other night too. Coming back from dinner, I opened the door. I just kissed her, and it was one of those moments. The shoelace was a moment, and the first kiss was a moment, and that just cemented it. I didn't care if she had a boyfriend. Yeah. In the back of my mind, I knew that wasn't going to last. Yeah. We were going to make it. Yeah, and we have.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have been kind of figuring out what I'm doing that's maybe impairing my ability to find what I'm looking for. I haven't been looking very long. I've been very busy raising my kids until just recently. I don't give guys easy openers to approach me. I have a lot of people that you two taught, students that you two taught at North Wilkes, have later in life messaged me saying that they always wanted to ask me out, but they never had the nerve to do it. And now here we are all these years later, and it's, that ship has sailed. Either, I live in New York, they still live down, wherever it is that they're living now. But I think I was so self-contained, and I still am. I got my own thing going on, and I don't give guys hints that, hey, I've lost my flirting game. I've lost it. I don't have it. I don't have it anymore. And I don't know if it's because I'm just happy with where I am, but I love the idea of Angela just walking by, pulling the string and looking over her shoulder and keep moving. I think I'm going to try that. The Angela Vandett shoestring lure.
That's it.
You got to market it.
Renowned technique.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I observed in high school is how playful the two of you were with each other. Have you ever had moments in life where you just felt like you're just not going to be on the same page? You're just going to argue? Or have you always just had this levity between the two of you?
To be fair, we've had those moments.
Certainly.
Every couple does. And it's time, like, you almost think we're pulling apart from each other. And that's happened a few times over maybe like the first 10 years of our marriage, perhaps. But I use the analogy in my book, and I'll do real quick like this. But I think it's very important to get this concept that when you're giving to somebody, it's like you're extending a rubber band. Mm-hmm. And when the person is giving back to you, that rubber band is being extended back. And the constant give and take of giving to each other strengthens that rubber band, so that when you just think if you had 1,000 rubber bands that thick, it can withstand a lot of pressure. It'll bend a little bit, but it won't break. And relationships that are that strong can take the difficulties. If the relationship isn't strong, the first hint of trouble, the bond breaks, the relationship breaks.
Yeah.
We formed a strong bond to begin with. It started with the shoelace, and it continues to this day, that we give to each other. It's important. So when the troubles hit for us, the bond was strong enough to withstand, and for us to look at each other and say, look, you're the one I want.
Yeah.
No matter what. We'll get through whatever difficulties we have. You know, there's always financial difficulties. Every couple goes through difficulties. And we've had the same difficulties most people have.
Yeah.
But the bond was strong.
You made me think of that Grease song with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. You're the one that I want.
Yeah, that's it. And that's very true.
Yeah. And for the book, I want to... Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just I think humor has always been there with us, and respect for each other. Mm-hmm. He is the most important person in my world.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way. That he feels I'm important. And you just have to keep that in your mind, and you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, if it's overlook the crazy little things that I do, you know, then he's very tolerant. You know, but our relationship has always been the most important thing.
And I also think the two of you, from my perspective, you seem to have a lot of spaces in your togetherness. Like you have your own things. I've called you Angela, and Coach V is out doing something for, I think it's the Foothill Veterans. So you each have your spaces in your togetherness, like the great writer Khalil Gibran said. And that, you know, I'm a fully formed woman, and if I am to start a relationship with someone, I'm not going to lose myself to them. And I see so many people out in new relationships, they let it consume them, and they let their friendships fall away. And then when the relationship, you know, has trouble or ends, they've lost that social support and their own individual interest. I have always been really good about not losing myself inside of a relationship. I am a fully formed person with fully formed interest. Always, my whole life has been like that. And I think that for some men that I've dated, that's a threat. They don't want me going out to concerts with my girlfriends, or they don't want me taking road trips by myself. And so those are not the right men for me. Nothing wrong with those men. It's just for who I am.
Exactly.
But with the two of you, you seem to really love your Carolina Tar Heels for whatever reason. You know.
Well, that's why we love them, of course.
But you have that shared love of sports. You worked in the same industry and in the same schools for a lot of the time, especially when I knew the two of you, you know, in school. But do you have other shared interests that I'm not aware of other than sports and education? Are there other things that keep on choosing each other?
We're both very active in our church.
Okay.
And we attend church regularly. He teaches Sunday school. I teach Sunday school some. I teach a Bible study. We both serve on committees, and it is truly a shared interest of something that's important for us.
Yeah. You also share books because the Hurdles book, and tell me the website for the Hurdles book, Coach V?
The easiest is my website, ricvandett.com.
Okay.
And it's RICVANDETT.com. There's no K in Rick, as you know. Mm-hmm. And people can order it off the website.
Okay.
And 100% of the proceeds go to the Hickory Soup Kitchen here in Hickory.
Hickory Soup
I don't
Kitchen.
keep any of the money. I just give it all to the soup kitchen.
I love the book, and I read it immediately. Like, I just poured through it, and so I'll link that. But the two of you, I came down for your book reading that you had in Hickory a couple of years ago, and I met your son, which was really nice to do that. And the two of you talked with me privately about book recommendations and emails and text and stuff like that. You have that shared love of books too, that hunger for knowledge, which I think is important. Do you align politically? Is that important to the two of you?
Actually, it is.
Yes.
It is. That I don't think was an issue when we first met. It was a nice, when I found out where she and her family were, it matched mine. Mm-hmm. And that was good. But the older we've gotten, the more political we've become.
Yeah.
Things are tough in this world right now. And our faith and our politics, two things you don't talk about, to other people, religion and politics, are important to us. And keep us grounded. And being a United Methodist sort of matches how we look at the world.
Yeah. So what about music? Do you like the same types of music?
I think so.
If it's from the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We belong to a dance club.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And we go once a month. We have a live band, and we have dinner and dancing. And all the music is beach music and early 70s. And we have a really good time. We enjoy going. There's probably 150 people there.
Well, what's the biggest?
We have a good time.
What's the biggest difference between the two of you?
Well, that's a great question.
Gee.
There has to be something, and some. And the reason that's a great question is because I think if you'd asked that 30 years ago, we might have been able to say it. Mm-hmm. But over time, while we've been able to maintain our own identities, we've still stayed as a couple. I have the image of some marriages when they get married and a bride and a groom each hold a candle, and they go and they light the unity candle, but they blow out the other candles. I don't have a problem with lighting a unity candle, but never blow out your individual candle.
Ooh.
And that is what we've been able to maintain. We can maintain our individuality. Well,
I got chills like running down my arm right now.
And I think it's so important. I think that's when you're talking about the guys that you're meeting that are threatened by you. You don't need them.
Yeah.
You'll find the one who's not threatened by you, who's encouraged by you, and who loves the fact that you have your own identity, and you'll love that about him as well, that he has his own identity. And over time, our own identities, I'm still me, she's still her. The secret to a successful marriage really is separate bathrooms.
And separate closets.
Separate closet. That helps. Knowing your space, being respectful of that space. That was a hard thing to learn at first for the both of us. Mm-hmm. If I wanted time away, she had to know I wasn't rejecting her. Mm-hmm. I needed time for me.
That was a big hurdle, if you don't mind my using that word. When we were early in our relationship, was that Rick likes his time where he's just by himself. And when we were first married, I saw that not as time for himself, but as time away from me, as a rejection of me. And I had a really hard time, coming around and understanding that it didn't have anything to do with me. Mm-hmm. It just had to do with his need for just some time by himself. And it took me a while, but we got there, and I appreciate that about him now and respect that. He still likes his time by himself.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and my ex-husband, I think, didn't like that about me either. There was trust issues there, I think. I need my morning time to myself. If I don't have an hour by myself in the morning, I'm not set for the day. So I get up really early. I get up, sometimes at 4:00 in the morning, so I have some time before I have to be at work, just to center and have my coffee and things like that. So I think, it's good that you've learned that that's something he needs. What about you, Rick? What did you have to learn about Angela that you didn't know how to accept at first, if anything?
The little ticks, the little things that ordinarily might have upset me, I've learned it's okay. If there's a flat surface, she's going to put something on it. I mean, my office upstairs, you need a tetanus shot to get in it, but it's away from things.
Right.
But just dining table, a coffee table, a bed, she's gonna put something on it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's only taken me 40 years to say it's okay. And part of being together as a couple, as any couple, is understanding what the big important things are and what the little things are, and just life goes by too fast. Mm-hmm. And in the book I wrote, it's insane to waste a moment of a lifetime that lasts but a moment. Yeah. And when you're unhappy, when you're angry, you're wasting moments. And that's a phrase we used when we first started dating. You're wasting moments. And she came up with that phrase. And we realized that when we're arguing with each other, we're wasting moments. You don't get those moments back. Yeah. And I don't know the last time we argued with each other. Saturday, maybe. I mean, we really haven't.
We get nippy, but we don't do, and then it's over. We've just learned that it's not important.
Yeah. Well, we only have about 3 more minutes left. This has really flown by, but I wanted to know from each of you, what is your advice, and then what is the thing that you love the most about each other? So why don't we start with the thing you love most about each other, and then each of you give your advice to those out there seeking love.
Well, what I love about her is that she makes an effort to put me first. And I don't mean that a man has to be first or a woman has to be first, but in relationship, giving of yourself to somebody else and meaning it and letting that person know how special that person is. I mean, I'd go through a wall for her. I mean, I'd lay down my life for her. She's just that important to me.
What about you, Angela?
I think the thing that I love the most about him, well, there are lots. I have to have a list. His humor, his ability to accept my little, and I have very few of them, very small things that I do that drive him crazy. He lets me be me. Yeah. And I think that goes both ways for us.
That's so important.
But we've got 47 years where we've been working on that. Yeah. It didn't happen in the beginning. Yeah. But he lets me be me, and he supports me through everything.
I literally have tears in my eyes right now. I think there's so many people out there that they're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Or you'll be attracted to someone and you ignore red flags because you just really want to find something. So I think to all the people out there that are frustrated and struggling, I think it's worth waiting to find the ones that where it isn't the round hole and the square peg, and I think the two of you, just like, Mr. and Mrs. Joins, who Thomas and Mary Ann Joins, they were my, Miss Joins was my 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade English teacher, and they met at Appalachian State University too, so maybe there's like a love triangle, like a center, a magnet of love at Appalachian State University, because two of the most wonderful couples I know, that's where their love story started. But for our viewers, in your parting comments, and I could talk to the two of you all day, what is your individual advice for people when they're trying to vet a partner? Like, what is your advice for love?
I think to follow those red flags. Use your intuition. It is there for a reason. And I think Rick and I had both met other people, and when we met each other, that was what the key was that we just clicked. It was just an immediate attraction. And it was a fun attraction. Of course, he's cute as a button too, but it was the personality and the shared interest.
What about you, Coach V?
Take time to get to know the other person, but have enough confidence in yourself that you can trust somebody and be vulnerable enough. When you're vulnerable, you open yourself to hurt, but if you have enough confidence in yourself and instill that confidence in the other person, it's somebody that you want to be around. Don't change who you are. Be who you are. Be proud of who you are, and let that other person be that way too. And if there are, and I love the comment about the red flags, because I agree 100%. Don't ignore those things, but be patient too.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to talk to each other.
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice.
As you can tell, we're both talkers.
Yeah.
So communication has been always important.
It's one of my favorite things to do is call you guys. I need to call you more often. And when you call them, they both pick up the phone at the same time. I love that. And that's how Mr. and Mrs. Joins were too. Like you pick up the phone and she would go, "Thomas, it's Jerri Lynn on the phone." And I just love the Southern accents. I miss it so much. And I hope to see you guys when I'm home this year. I always come back for a visit. So you can find the book Hurdles at RICV like Victor, AND like dog, ETT.com. It is a wonderful book for a wonderful cause. I highly recommend it. And thank the two of you for just being in my life for so long and just guiding me always and always being there for me. The love you have for each other is also the way you love your friends and your former students. And I totally appreciate it.
And we love you.
We love you. We're so proud of you.
I love you guys too. All right.
Go Pack.
Go State, go Wolf. I converted him. Do you see that? Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching Sparks of Love, and I hope you all have a great week.